Judy. It's great to have you join us today on this podcast with Chris Herren and myself. And just a little background. You're a family member of a guest that is, well, you're the mom of a guest currently at Herren Wellness. And we have you here today because you are you have a wealth of ideas and for our program, and we're a program that is like excited to hear ideas. So welcome, and tell us a little bit about yourself.
When my loved one came to Herren and we learned about the weekly family calls, my husband and I got on those immediately. And I would say that when it was twice a week when it started, currently it's once a week now, but once a week they had a prior guest come on and tell their story and share their journey with the family members. And I was just overwhelmed with the sense of community and the love and support that these alumni felt towards each other. It was very profound. I mean, I know we talked about that before we brought our son to Herren. You talked about the alumni community, but until you see it in action and hear it from current alumni and family members, it was overwhelming to me. So week after week after week, you'd hear these stories and you'd start to think about these people more and start wondering, like, what are they, what is their career path, or what are they doing? And maybe there's an opportunity to have the current alumni help the current guests think about, the next stage of their recovery. We've totally embraced the idea that you talked about. A slow recovery is what you hope for. In the beginning, I was not so sold on that because I was writing out a lot of checks, but I'm like, how slow is this going to be?
Yeah.
Totally.
But obviously,
So
it was
true.
all worth it. We wouldn't change a thing. We feel blessed to have had the means and the opportunity to have our loved one there. But as we started learning more about the wellness jobs and what the next step was once they got into sober living, it was like, okay, then what happens after that wellness job? And then through my recovery or my program and going to Al-Anon, I learned a lot about kind of staying in your own lane and understanding that this was my loved one's journey, not mine. I couldn't really direct where he went next, but I thought maybe I can help the organization he's with, help him direct where he goes.
Yes, exactly.
So
and you created with Peter, your husband, the Herren Wellness Career Network, which when you created this idea, you sent it to me, I shared it with Chris and Heather, and realizing that in the field itself and in treatment, it does not exist, that, and it's such an important part of somebody's recovery, especially young adults, but anybody really. What do you do when you leave treatment? And they call them wellness jobs, or
Get well.
It's my get well job, but it doesn't necessarily have to be. It can be a field of interest. It can be, what you think you might want to do, or what you thought you were going to do when you were young. And so building a network of alumni that are in all these varying different fields. So we have everyone in our alumni that are entrepreneurs, own their own companies, to law enforcement, to
Athletes,
coaches, law, teachers. And now with your vision, we can create access to that network.
And, when it comes to treatment and career path, nobody helped me with that. Nobody focused on that. And I think, as you said, you don't really see it in treatment centers. We've given people access to get well jobs, but like, what's after that?
Right.
And so just to see it all the way through is so special. And that's what I love about what we're doing here. It's kind of seeing it all the way through. It's kind of walking with them throughout. It's one thing to be there for 4 months, 6 months, get sober, and then transition to sober living and get a get well job. But typically that's where we kind of step away, step back.
Yeah.
And now we're stepping
Yes.
stepping forward with them. So I'm just so incredibly grateful that you had the vision. not only because of personal experience with your son, but for everyone.
Yeah.
And we get to kind of take another step in a journey that we love being part of. And, you know, our alumni is something that I did not foresee. I did not expect. And listening to you kind of talk about how powerful that community is, it brings me great pride and joy because we created an environment and a culture there where people want to remain close to and part of and supportive. So to access those former guests who are at a different stage in their life, you know, CEOs or have worked in the same field for 20, 30 years, to give their advice to our current guests and guests that are just kind of rolling through the program is phenomenal.
And I think it'll just build too. I mean, some of the responses that we've had have been amazing. Like, they're like, this is such a great idea and this is exciting. And we had one alumni say, you know, I can help with resume writing. I can help with, you know, I can do interview prep and that type of thing. So there's I'm sure there's many things that we haven't thought of that will be coming.
But I think even just finding a job today in today's world is hard, whether you're in recovery or not.
So true.
And I think AI and technology has changed the way employers hire, and it's really hard. And so knowing someone that can open the door or you know, put in a good word for you, or you know, just get your resume to be on the top of the pile versus the bottom can be huge, can make a difference.
Yeah.
When you're in early recovery, there's such a rebuilding process, you know, and the fact that that's weighing on you, like I got to find a career, you know, it's something that is overlooked sometimes. And, you know, when you say I have a response to the word rejection, you know, like it's
me too.
horrible. Yeah, exactly.
It's like, oh.
So to think of someone 3 months sober, just continuously getting rejected and not knowing where to go. But for me also, it's, you know, having the professionals, the mentors in their life that can kind of guide them not only into their career, but how to manage the career and go through that process, like you just said, sober.
Yeah.
You know,
and manage the time that it is a slow recovery, and we are very much about that at Herren Wellness. Like, take this time to learn about yourself, get comfortable, and our young adults, you know, your son being one of them, is they feel like they've missed so much, and they feel like taking the time to get really healthy. They don't look at it as like that's your education, like that's your job right now is to get really strong, but they don't see it that way. They feel behind, and it's changing that perspective and that mindset. And that's where our alumni can help with that, with them, with whether women or men, or they're in sober living, or they've gone to Herren and they feel like I should be doing more. I should be at a different place in my life. I'm a college graduate. And it's having the mentors say, you have so much time, and there's going to be opportunity, and let's connect you with this. And I think that in itself is, you know, it's not just about like getting the job, it's helping them know that doing this slowly has so much value.
One of the things I remember, I don't remember who it was. I wish if I could go back in time, I would have taken more notes in the early days so I could remember who I spoke. But they talked about as bad as things were and how ugly it was and how much trauma and pain they caused their family and loved ones. They wouldn't trade it in because it made them kind of who they are today. And they were thankful for it. And it's like, whoa, that's pretty powerful.
You know, if I reflect back on my life, everything I have is because of someone else, right? Like that opened the door for me.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't teach basketball in a school until I met the principal who was sober, who had a key to let me in. You know, I didn't I didn't speak until someone I met in an AA meeting said, why don't you come to my classroom? So everything I have today is because of the network I've made in recovery, and so now to bring that network to them is incredible. I'm grateful to have you in my network. Never mind not.
I think I'm more grateful to have you in mine.
Yeah, but I mean that. It's I'm excited. I'm excited for Herren Wellness. I'm excited for the future guest, that we can kind of take some of that pressure of going through that process and kind of going even one. You think you weren't going all the way until you realize there's a little bit more to go.
Yeah.
And I'm
a little
just,
more yardage.
Yeah, and I'm just glad. I'm glad that I'm excited that we figured that out, and we're going to go a little further.
From day one, since your son came to us, you've been so engaged in the family program, and you've offered help to other family members, and the way that you've embraced that has been really special.
Well, I feel blessed to have found out about it, because I didn't. So I think you could actually do more advertising, because I found out about it from I went to see a friend of mine in Alumni from the Cape. Recommended I go see this therapist. His name's John Pizarski. He recommended Herren Wellness, and so I got home, and then I said, okay, now I got to get my husband back, and we'll come next week and we'll talk to you, because I had to get him on board. And then I got home and I told Peter about it, and I looked it up online, and I can't wait a week. There's no need to wait. So that's when I called you, and we came to visit you before we went back to see John.
Yes.
And so he's the one that kind of, if I don't know where we'd be right now, to be honest.
Yeah.
So I feel incredibly blessed about that.
Yeah, it's
It's word of mouth. I mean, it's like,
I think it's word of mouth. I think it's people have a really good experience. Families have a really good experience. They'll tell someone that they had a good experience, and I think that's the biggest. That helps us know that we're doing it right, and that what the work that we're doing and the model that we've created is working. And I don't know how you put that on blast, but
no, but it's getting people comfortable with talking about it. I mean, and we've all said this: if your child had leukemia, you wouldn't be hush hush about it. So I've been very open about it.
Yeah, and grateful. And it's so happy that he's doing well, and I think that families can share that. It's, I'm sorry to hear. A friend of mine I was running with, she was telling me her son is in recovery, and she said, people used to say to her, oh, I'm so sorry I heard about so-and-so, and I'm so sorry. And she says now, sorry, we're so grateful. He's healthy, he's thriving.
Yeah.
It's the best thing that ever happened.
Yep.
That's the narrative.
Yep.
And if we have that narrative, people will get help.
Yep.
If the narrative is, I'm sorry you're going through this, or I'm sorry that happened to them, then a lot of people aren't going to seek treatment, or they're just going to isolate more and feel shame. And we don't want shame. We want, being in recovery in this culture it's a badge of honor.
Yep.
Every family, we try to figure it out. We try to figure it out with our kids and for our kids, and as much as they'll allow us to help them figure it out. If they don't tell us, we don't know, unless they're living in our home, and then we know. But I really feel like that saying could have done it sooner, or there were warning signs. It's really hard because I think maybe there are, but everyone's trying to get a solution at that moment that is the best one at that moment.
I think what's incredible is that families are intervening so much sooner.
Yeah.
That's what's beautiful. I mean, we could have waited until, your son was 32 or 34 to get involved. So to see young families coming in and young adults and coming in at between 25 and 30, 21 and 30, I mean, it's
prevention. It's preventing loss.
Yeah.
It's preventing more loss. It's preventing the severe negative consequences of substance use, gambling, struggle, mental health.
it's that age group that we're looking to make this type of impact on.
Yes.
You know, and bringing this to them,
Yeah.
so they don't struggle when they transition away
Right.
from us.
Yep. Exactly.